Good morning, afternoon, or evening to you, depending on where you're watching this from in the world. Scuderia Rob here with round 5 of this F1 2016 career mode. It is the Spanish Grand Prix. I have to be honest, this is not one of my best circuits, as I'm sure you're about to discover in the coming 13 and a half minutes or so. Let's get the practice.
Welcome to the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix. Over the next few minutes, the teams will be heading out onto this classic Formula One track for what we're expecting to be a very hectic practice session. A lot of focus is naturally on the drivers, but it's really important for the mechanics to get everything right as well, as one little mistake could cost the team and one of their drivers the race result.
These guys are so meticulous and they train and perfect everything that they do. Without question, they feel the pressure in the same way as the drivers, and they share the responsibility to ensure that the car makes it to the end of the race.
Okay, so it is now practice for the Spanish Grand Prix. We're coming through the final chicane into the last corner on this track. We're about to start the track acclimatization test now as we cross the line, heading down towards turn 1. We're going to cut a little bit further into the test here to the end of this first lap. We're coming through this final section like a stadium section here at the Circuit de Catalunya, sliding all over the place, and that's one thing I was discovering. I had no confidence in this car around this track. The track was so slippery. The car, no matter how much downforce I tried to add to the car, it just would not stop sliding. Entering this final corner on this opening lap, and I get a massive slide on. We get onto the gravel, and we hit the wall, but we still somehow managed to finish the lap despite having no front wing, and we're facing the wrong way and hitting the wall, taking a hefty whack against the wall. But that is the track acclimatization done and dusted in one lap. Moving in to lap 6 of this tyre management test, and look at how it's going. 5 failed laps. Whether that was down to the tyre wear itself, the tyre wear on every lap was absolutely appalling, but the delta time, as you can see, it's struggling with the delta. We're just inside the delta on this particular lap, but the tyre wear is in the green, but it's absolutely appalling as I'm sliding around so much in the final corner, and we fail the the tyre management test for the second race weekend in a row, because we just don't have the tyres are just shoddy around here. The tyre wear is really, really poor. We're cutting into the third lap of the qualifying sim, and as you can see, again, much like in Russia, we just are nowhere. We are just slow in these practice test sessions. We really are struggling, sliding around. I mean, I do not like this track at the best of times, and this car is just not fun to drive around here. Sliding everywhere. I have no confidence to put the power down. We're going to come across the line to end this test, and we fail it for the second race weekend in a row.
Hi, just letting you know that we've had the team's expectations through for the upcoming qualifying session.
So our goal is to qualify 10th or higher. I'm not so sure that is a realistic possibility heading into this qualifying session, considering how poor our practice has been. But let's go to quali.
Here we are at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya for the start of today's qualifying session. It won't be long now until we're ready to join the action down at trackside. In recent seasons, much talk has been made about tyre wear. Some say it gets in the way of the racing, others say it's always been part of the sport. Are we going to see drivers trying to look after their tyres here, or throw caution to the wind and worry about that when it becomes a problem?
Tyre wear will probably be the dominating factor around this track. It's so easy to use up the life in your tyres as you seek to find the lap time. If you have a good balance to begin with, like the Mercedes and Red Bull, you'll always stand a better chance.
Is it just me, or does this Grosjean look like he slept for like a month? Alright, we're coming into, we're in the qualifying session here for the Spanish Grand Prix. We're coming to the end of our first flying lap here on the soft tyres. As you can see, Hamilton is currently on pole position. We're coming through this little stadium section to close the lap. I hate the fact that they cut out these amazing last 2 corners. They used to be absolute animals, but now they've put in this clumsy Mickey Mouse chicane instead. Into the final corner, we're sliding around everywhere. I just haven't got any downforce or any confidence in this car. We cross the line, we go P7. We'll cut to the end of our second lap of our second run here. We'll cross the line and we will finish up 17th. Oh my goodness. We have failed our qualifying target by a fair margin, and we will start the Spanish Grand Prix from 17th on the grid. And look at that, our teammate Julian Palmer will start 11th. What a disaster.
Hi, it's Emma here. Just wanted to let you know what the team are hoping for in the race.
So our target for the race is 13th or higher. Beat Bottas and beat Palmer. I really am not feeling confident heading into this race. This car handles like a donkey. But let's go to the Spanish Grand Prix.
What does the Spanish Grand Prix have in store for us today, I wonder? I hope we see some tight wheel-to-wheel action down the main straight, circa Mansell and Senna way back in '91. Or maybe we'll have a more strategic race here on a track where overtaking can be difficult. It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down to turn 1 of this 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through these 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of turn 9. Anthony Davidson is here with me today. Together we'll be taking you through all the action of this Spanish Grand Prix. It can be hard for the cars to follow each other closely here due to the dirty air coming off the car in front. So perhaps we're looking at a more strategic Grand Prix out. What do you think on that?
I'm not too sure about that, Crofty. I mean, yes, as you say, it's hard to follow around here, but if you're brave on the brakes, you can get the job done down into turn 1, which is a medium-speed corner, so you have to be committed. And looking down at this grid today, I think we're going to see 1 or 2 drivers making a move from a long way back, maybe try to force their opponent into a mistake. I don't think this is a race that's going to be purely decided in the pit stops.
We're not starting where we wanted. We'll need to fight our way up the grid today.
Okay, so you join us here for the formation lap for this Spanish Grand Prix. And as you can see, just in case this track wasn't slippery enough in this car, we have to contend with rain. It's raining for the Spanish Grand Prix. Not a race you would expect to be wet, it's fair to say. And we're just off here, excuse me, here off for the formation lap. And Nico Hülkenberg is going exceptionally slowly. We just can't seem to avoid Hülkenberg. We spent most of Russia battling him. And he's in front of us here on the grid for the Spanish Grand Prix. And look at that, we actually go in front of Hülkenberg. We're not even going that quickly. So I tried to let Hülkenberg back through, but watch this. Because I'm ahead, and the AI says, now I can't overtake another car. Look what happens here. I stop to let him through. I accidentally put the car in neutral. Hülkenberg is ghosted, and he has basically been forced onto the grid here. Like we were in Russia, we were thrown to the grid nice and early there. There's Hülkenberg parked up already before we make it to our grid slot. But crazy. I don't know what Hülkenberg was doing there. We're waiting for the rest of the field to come round. Because we're near the back, it's not the longest wait in the world. The final few cars are lining up on their grid slots as we get set for the start of the Spanish Grand Prix. And the 5 red lights are coming on. The circuit, the Catalunya, is ready. Are we ready? Off we go. The 5 red lights have gone out and we've got a pretty decent start. Whack the fuel mix up into rich mix. We get a massive slide already on this soaking wet track. We go to the grass and we're getting pounced on by everyone around us. There goes Gutierrez and Ericsson, and we get a massively late break up the inside and we slide past everybody up into P12 behind Julian Palmer up the inside of our teammate. We make a little bit of contact with Palmer, but we continue. Both of us continue with no damage, which is an important thing. 2 teammates racing side by side, especially around Catalunya. It's a bit of a dodgy thing, as I'm sure you'll understand having watched this year's Grand Prix. We're now in 11th place, chasing down Fernando Alonso in the McLaren. We're sliding around, but we've got the inside of Alonso, and we'll get the move done up the inside. And despite the slippery conditions, we seem to have a little bit of confidence at this point in the race. Sliding around, trying to get the power down. Lack of traction is really hurting us into this corner here, and we are behind our championship rival Bottas in the Williams here. We're coming through this corner here. This is normally a pretty fun corner to drive. Uphill pretty quick, but we're sliding around all over the place as we cut to the second lap here through this Mickey Mouse chicane. We're staying with the Williamses, but we can't get close enough to launch an attack on the Williamses. But we get a huge slide out of the chicane. I mean, we got all over the place through the final corner. sliding around all over the place. And here goes Kvyat in the Toro Rosso. He's through. But look at behind us. We have the McLaren of Fernando Alonso behind us. We're going to go up the inside of Kvyat. We brake late. We turn in. And we do make some contact with Kvyat. Now, I did think, much like my move I did in the previous race on Rosberg, I didn't think it was fair, really, so I wanted to give the place back. Bear in mind, I'm losing so much time to the Williamses. The AI doesn't know what I'm doing here, and there we go. He finally realizes that I'm letting him through. There goes Kvyat. We go back up the inside immediately, but Kvyat slams the door shut. Alonso is all over the back of us in his McLaren. Oh, we are just struggling around, sliding for grip. We've got the inside, same place we took Alonso, and we are past Kvyat. So we have retaken Daniel Kvyat, this on lap 3 of this Spanish Grand Prix. But we get a massive slide onto the grass, and our tyres are already slippery as they is. We're on the grass again. We make even more contact. Kvyat's on our inside. We take some grass with us, gravel with us this time, sliding around all over the place. Alonso's behind us. We can't even put our foot down without even getting a little sliding around into this corner here, sliding everywhere. We get a massive bit of fishtail here on a bit of standing water. We're trying desperately to keep the thing in a straight line. We're making contact, and we're in the wall. We're out! We're out! Just unbelievable. Can't believe it. We're out of this race. Sliding around. Let's look at the replay here. We get a massive slide coming out of there into this turn 9. This blind, frightening corner at the best of times. We get onto the wet stuff, the standing water, sliding around. We are getting hit by Alonso in the McLaren. And that's it. Our Spanish Grand Prix ends in 3 laps. And I'm not going to restart because I don't think that would be fair. Can you believe it? Our first DNF of this career mode. Unbelievable. Just incredible. Oh my god.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Well, they clearly have a car that comes alive in the kind of conditions we were dealing with today. It's a very balanced package in the wet, and what that means is that the drivers have confidence to attack, and having that confidence gets you on the power earlier, it lets you brake later, and can put you a long way up the road.
So as I say that, we can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix.
Well, I'm sure you'll agree with me, this Grand Prix weekend has been an absolute disaster. One to forget. Unbelievable. Just 3-lap race. I'm sorry, guys. That is a pretty poor effort, I have to say. Well, thank you very much for watching anyway. I'm not sure if it was a bit of a spoiler at this video being like 13.5 minutes long, as my race didn't last a great length of time at all. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next time for the Monaco Grand Prix. A track I absolutely